Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Season 2, Episode 3 of Spartacus titled Paterfamilias. So we start off with Badiatus announcing Animaeus is the new Docturi, and Gannicus will be fighting in the Primus, as they secured it from Varus due to Gannicus's and Melita's show, is what we're going to call that. I do love that because this is a prequel, we get to see the characters in a different light. We get to see both Crixus and Animaeus, two people who were very sure of their positions in Season 1, be unsure of what they are. Badiatus, at first I kind of thought we were getting a sympathetic Badiatus, and then we'd slowly see him start delving into the darkness, and in between this season and Season 1 will be when he really goes off his rocker, but no. I'm pretty sure he's going to go off his rocker fully this season. We also get to see Salonius kind of being a bro. So Gannicus can't look Animaeus in the eye due to, he was forced to sleep with his wife. And the fact that we later learn he's got growing feelings for Melita. Animaeus incorrectly thinks it's because, his new position raises him up. Throughout the episode, Animaeus struggles with getting the men to respect him, because just like 2 days ago, he was one of them. He was a former champion, but he was a brother. Also, Barca and Octus are still assholes. I mean, I kind of understand it. And at the same time, I don't. So Asher and Dagon got their marks without passing the test or saying the oath. And that pisses Octus and Barca off, and so they continue to pee in their food. Asher and Dagon retaliate by eating Octus and Barca's birds. I'm going to be honest, that's fair enough. That's fair enough from them on Asher and Dagon's part. So, Lucretia, Badiatus, and Gaia have a threesome. And here comes Badiatus Senior, who just whips open the curtain, much to young Badiatus' horror and Gaia's amusement. So, in this episode, we learn that he was written to by Salonius, which, again, a small, not so much a crack in the relationship between Salonius, but something that irks young Badiatus. We'll call him, when we're talking about Badiatus Jr., I'll just call him Badiatus, and when I'm talking about his father, I'll call him by his first name, Titus. It irks him. It irks him even more when, Titus proceeds to drag him, basically shit on all his decisions. He doesn't like Gannicus. He thinks he's showy, which he is, but he's also probably the best fighter there, so. Yeah. It kind of does show that Titus is kind of out of the times, as I believe that Gannicus being the champion is one of Badiatus' good decisions, for better or worse. Titus proceeds to piss off Badiatus even more by dragging him to the square to make a deal with Tullus and Vettius. Titus thinks his son had too much ambition. He'd be even more pissed in going for the Primus, believing he was going above his station, which is kind of weird as shit, because we later learn he doesn't like Lucretia because he believed his son married below his station. So it kind of seems he's a little bit of a hypocrite, eh? Also, I don't understand why the hell he'd give up the Primus. Is it because it's Gannicus? It doesn't make sense, especially from a Lanista standpoint. That is what you want as a Lanista, right? To be in the Primus for your gladiator, the guy you trained. Well, technically he wasn't trained by Titus, but you get the point. I don't, Titus is known to be someone who's set in his ways and honorable, I guess. He also seems to really treat his slaves kind of respectfully, I guess, or as respectfully as a master can. He greets them all by their names. He ends up sharing a cup of wine in Onimaeus' quarters. He proceeds to lower himself to Onimaeus' level, in contrast to how when Spartacus drank with Batiatus, Spartacus was raised to Batiatus' level. As while Batiatus really wouldn't like a slave being raised up to his level, he'd like that even less if it was him going down to Spartacus' level. Kind of shows the difference. Meanwhile, while Titus is giving away the Primus, Varus and a man named Good Casudius proceed to rock up uninvited and basically ask for a redo. Now, Lucretia, I guess she kind of does care about Melita. I'm unsure if it's because she cares about Melita and Onimaeus, or if she really doesn't want to test Melita, Onimaeus, and Gannicus' loyalty. So she proceeds to offer up either Diona or Nivea, who are both virgins. Good Casudius is absolutely not good. He proceeds to say, a virgin, a delicacy not seen at my house. Fucking wonder why. This man has the most punchable face. He has the most punchable face and the most punchable attitude. This guy sucks. He proceeds to select Diana because she is the tighter of the two, and it would cause more pain, which he wants. He also proceeds to Rascus, the gladiator, as he is dirty, bloody, and he wants it to contrast. Something so dirty is ruining something so pure like Diana. And he proceeds to force himself in her as well. God, that scene was so uncomfortable. And it was kind of set up in the first episode where the two ladies that were sent to Gannicus, Nivea and Diana, were giggling with them about it because they were curious, about sex. I guess kind of being naive to the fact that those two other slaves weren't really sleeping with Gannicus because they had a choice. They were ordered to. It just so happens that Gannicus is a generous lover, which would not be the same case for probably others gladiators, which they probably were also forced to sleep with. It also kind of, I guess, serves to further Navia, as it kind of gives reason to cut down on her naivety to what we see in her of the first season, where she's kind of hardened and kind of knows what's up. And yet, yeah. God, that whole scene was just uncomfortable, though. And what's even more uncomfortable is it was kind of for nothing, as Titus was giving away the Primus at that very point. He also managed to secure 2 matches where they'd be fighting their own gladiators. And this is Tullus giving Batiatus a fuck you, because it's Barca versus Gnaeus. 2 of his more better gladiators, I guess, with the hopes that one of them will die. Probably. And then Crixus, who was Tullus's man, fighting Octus. i.e. Crixus, Batiatus' man, versus Octus, Titus's man, with the hope of Crixus dying and basically showing Batiatus up. Crixus is smart. He knows that he did not earn this, and this is also kind of get where we learn that Gannicus is kind of having feelings for Melita, as he says, sometimes we are given blessings we do not deserve. You know, something like that. Also, this episode, it was shown that Crixus just is not very good with the spear, and this was because we kind of saw him last episode nearly defeat Gannicus, so it'd be weird if he started struggling against Barca. So we had to give him a reason to struggle, and he's never fought against a spear. So it kind of gives this, match a little, not Barca, Octus. So it kind of gives this match a bit more believability, I guess. But also at the same time, not really, because we know Crixus can't die. So Batiatus was of the hope that his father would go back to Sicily due to his sickness, but he saw Crixus win and kill Octus, and he was inspired. He basically finally compliments his son. Also, I love that before the fight, Batiatus went up to Crixus and started bullshitting, like, I see something in you, that's why I got you, He was basically faking it until Crixus made it. Also, Gaia attempted to get with Varus, who proceeded to shut her down, which really makes her entire position precarious, because everything she had shown her worth, getting the Primus, was given away. She's now got no husband prospects, and Titus does not like her ass. Yeah. So she's kind of worried. I'm going to give this episode a 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.